Hey Seismic, here's your WOD Brief for Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Your warm-up today is going to be 27 squats. So we're going to go through that right now. You're going to start with your feet shoulder width apart and give me a good squat, getting below depth. Then you're going to turn your toes out and squat, and toes in and squat. Then you're going to bring your feet out wider, keeping your toes forward. You're going to squat, toes outward, squat, and toes pointed in, squat. And you're going to bring your feet together, squat, turn your toes out, and squat, and do your best to turn your toes in and squat. Then we're going to stagger our feet. So bring back out to hip width. We're going to step forward, toes forward, and we're going to squat here. We're going to turn our toes out and squat, turn our toes in and squat. Then we're going to take that stance and go wide with it. Toes forward, squat, toes out, squat, toes in, squat. Then we're going to take our stance and go narrow. So like we're on a tight rope. We're going to toes forward, balance, and squat. We're going to turn our toes out and squat. We're doing the best we can with this. So warm up, remember, and toes are going to turn in and squat. Then we're going to shift. Go ahead and go back to center, hip width apart, and then we're going to get that alternate front foot in the front. We're going to squat, turn toes out and squat, turn toes in and squat, and then we're going to get narrow on this side like we're working a tightrope. Oh, we're going to get wide first. Wide first. We're going to keep toes forward and squat, turn toes out, squat, and turn toes in and squat. Last but not least, we're going to get narrow, tightrope on this side. We're going to squat the best you can, toes out, squat, and toes turned in, squat. So that's your 27 squats. Now, in addition to your 27 squats, we are going to do a shoulder exercise called Xiaoping forward is the one we're going to start with. Now you can grab some kind of weight, something under 5 pounds. If you don't have anything that small at home, you can grab a can to use, or maybe like a water bottle, or you don't have to use anything, right? Now, when we do Xiaoping forward, my palm's going to be up. I'm going to do a shoulder circle. I'm reaching forward, and then when I get to the top, I'm going to rotate my arm so my palm is down, coming through. And I'm going to come back up forward and come down and through. Now I'm trying to just move my shoulder and not my torso. I'm going to do 5 on this arm. And then I'm going to alternate and I'm going to do 5 on my other arm. So after that, we're going to do what you call Xiaoping backwards. So, same idea. My palm is up. I'm going to reach, reach, reach. And then when I can no longer reach in that direction, I'm going to turn and rotate and bring around. I'm going to come back and rotate, bring around. Again, focusing on trying to rotate my shoulder and not my torso. So I'm going to do 5 on this arm going backwards and 5 on the alternate arm going backwards. For your mobility today, we are going to be doing some hip capsule external and internal rotation. So we're going to talk about the external first. So I'm going to set my hand down here, and I'm going to use my left leg to externally rotate my right leg. I'm going to bring this leg up as far as I can get it. Then I'm going to shift my weight over to my right knee, and I'm going to think about having my femur push out of my butt. So I'm pushing all my weight on it, and I'm going to sit in that position for about a minute. You'll do that on both sides, and then we're going to work internal rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right leg to help push my left leg out internally. Then I'm going to bring it back so that my knees and hips are kind of square, and then I'm going to shift my weight over to that left leg, and I'm going to think about my femur pushing out my hip. I'm going to hold that for a minute, and then I'm going to switch legs and do the right side for a minute as well. Thread the needle is next. We are going to get on all fours. I'm going to take my arm, I'm going to reach through and get my shoulder onto the ground. And then I can lift this hand up overhead if I can to intensify. And I'm going to sit on this for 2 minutes. And then I'll switch sides and another 2 minutes. Okay, for your skill work today, you're going to be doing a 10-minute EMOM. On the odd minutes, you are going to be doing 5 overhead squats. 5 on one arm, 5 on the other. So I'm going to show you this, but as a quick disclaimer, my arm does not look straight when it locks out because it has a slight bend to it. But your arm is going to look straight and locked out, unless your arm's like my arm. So we're going to go ahead and get our shoulder up, externally rotated. We are going to get into our squat position. We're going to come down into our squat and stand back up. So you'll do 5 on that side and 5 on the other. Now, for the even minutes, you are going to do a reverse plank. So the easiest version of this is to be on your hands. If you want more of a challenge, you can be on your forearms. Hands are going to go back, and you're going to lift your hips up over and try to get them as straight as possible. Be on your heels, squeeze, 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 and you're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Okay, your workout today is going to be 4 rounds. It's going to start with a 100-step overhead march. So you're going to get your weight. You can either do this with 1 or 2, depending on what you have at home. You're going to get it locked up overhead. You're going to go out 50 steps and then come back 50 steps. And then once you get here, you're going to do 50 air squats.
You're going to do 50 air squats.
Trying to stay as vertical as possible. And then you're going to continue doing that for 3 more rounds for a total of 4 rounds.
4 rounds.